I'll pay double if you have a balance. They mocked the black boy, not knowing he was the bank's true owner. The words sliced through the hushed elegance of First National like shattered ice. I'll pay double right here, right now, if that kid actually has money in his account. Laughter erupted, not polite chuckles. Cruel, mocking guffaws that bounced off marble floors and gilded teller windows. Every eye in the Manhattan flagship branch swiveled toward the counter, where a small black boy stood alone, gripping a tattered backpack and wearing scuffed sneakers 2 sizes too big. His name was Jamal Carter. He was 8 years old. Just 10 minutes earlier, his grandfather, Malcolm Carter, founder of First National Bank, had knelt on the sidewalk outside, pressed a sleek obsidian card into Jamal's palm, and whispered, "Go in, show them who you are. And remember, blood carries more weight than doubt." Now, Jamal stood on tiptoe, sliding the card across the counter. His voice trembled but held firm. "This is mine. I want to check my balance." The teller, a man named Greg, smirked. "Yours? Kid, this is a founder's card. Only issued to executives. You probably stole it from your mom's purse." More laughter. Then Derek Langston, the branch manager, strode over, silk tie, cufflinks, arrogance dripping from his smile. "Let me guess," he said, loud enough for the lobby to hear. "Your uncle left you his fortune in his will?" He turned to the crowd. "All right, folks, let's settle this. Run the balance. If he's got more than $50, I'll donate 1,000 to charity." Jamal's fists clenched around his backpack straps. "It's mine," he repeated. Greg shrugged and swiped the card. The terminal beeped. Keys clicked. Then silence. Greg's smirk vanished. His eyes widened. He stared at the screen like it had spoken to him in tongues. "What is it?" Derek snapped, leaning over. Greg handed him the printed slip without a word. Derek laughed until he read the number. $312,847,609.23. His face went ghost white. His knees buckled slightly. The paper trembled in his hand. The lobby fell dead silent. A woman dropped her coffee cup. It shattered on the floor. No one moved to clean it. Jamal stood still, small but unbroken, his eyes locked on the man who'd mocked him. Then the glass door swung open. Malcolm Carter entered. At 78, he moved with the quiet authority of a lion who'd built an empire from nothing. His silver hair was combed back, his suit tailored, his cane tapping like a judge's gavel against marble. He walked straight to Jamal, placed a protective hand on his grandson's shoulder, and turned to Derek. "That account," Malcolm said, voice colder than winter steel, "belongs to my grandson, the sole heir to the Carter Trust. And every word you spoke, every laugh you led, was heard by me through the security feed in my car." Derek stammered. "Mr. Carter, I didn't know." "You didn't care to know," Malcolm cut in. "You saw a black boy in worn clothes, an assumed thief. That's not oversight. That's prejudice. And prejudice has no place in my bank." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Customers exchanged guilty glances. Some had laughed. Others had whispered, "He's lying." Now, shame burned their cheeks. Jamal tugged his grandfather's sleeve. "Grandpa, they didn't believe me." Malcolm knelt, meeting his eyes. "They will now, son, and they'll never forget your name." He stood, voice rising like thunder. "This branch carries my name, not just on a sign outside, but in its soul, or it's supposed to." He turned to the staff. "Print that balance. Full name visible. Deliver copies to every manager in this city by sundown. Let them see the child they'd have mocked." Greg scrambled to the printer, hands shaking. Derek looked like he might faint. "Please, Mr. Carter, my career." "Your career?" Malcolm's eyes blazed. "You risked a child's dignity for a punchline. You don't deserve a career." Jamal looked up, voice soft but clear. "Why did you laugh at me, mister?" The question hung in the air, simple, devastating. Derek had no answer. Malcolm placed a hand on Jamal's back. "Come on, son. We're done here." As they walked out, the crowd parted like the Red Sea. No one dared meet Malcolm's eyes. Outside, reporters had already gathered. tipped off by a staff member who'd recognized the founder's car. "Mr. Carter, is it true your grandson was humiliated inside?" Malcolm stopped, Jamal's hand in his. "Yes, and the world will know why." He crouched, whispering to Jamal, "Stand tall, son. This is your truth being told." Then to the cameras. "My grandson walked in with proof of ownership. He was met with mockery, not service. That ends today. This isn't about wealth. It's about respect, and respect was denied." Flashbulbs exploded. Jamal clutched his backpack, eyes wide but steady. Behind them, Derek stumbled out of the bank, pale and sweating. Reporters swarmed him. "Mr. Langston, did you accuse an 8-year-old of theft?" He tried to push through, but his name was already trending. Hashtag bank shame. Hashtag Jamal Carter. Hashtag respect over wealth. Malcolm lifted Jamal into the waiting limo. The doors closed. The chaos faded. Inside, Jamal finally let his shoulders slump. "Did I do something wrong, Grandpa?" Malcolm kissed his forehead. "You did everything right. They were the ones who failed." Jamal hugged his backpack. "I was scared." "Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared," Malcolm said gently. "It means you stood anyway." Jamal nodded, drifting to sleep against his grandfather's chest. Malcolm stared out the window, jaw set. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. By morning, the story was everywhere. Heir humiliated in his own bank. Founder's grandson mocked for being black. Jamal Carter, the boy who exposed a bank soul. Protests formed outside First National branches nationwide. Signs read, "Believe black children, and dignity isn't a privilege." At the Carter estate in Westchester, Jamal colored at the breakfast table. Unaware he'd become a symbol. "Grandpa," he asked, crayon in hand, "why are people talking about me?" "Because you showed them what courage looks like," Malcolm replied. Margaret, his longtime aide, entered with a tablet. "The board's in panic mode. Stock's down 12%. Langston's lawyer is spinning it as miscommunication." Malcolm sipped his coffee. Let him spin. Truth doesn't unravel. But then Margaret's face darkened. "There's more." Anonymous leaks surfaced overnight, alleging you used bank funds for personal gain 15 years ago. Jamal looked up, eyes wide. "Are they lying about you two, Grandpa?" Malcolm set his cup down. "Yes, son. And liars always reveal themselves when they're desperate." He knew who was behind it. Derek Langston. Cornered, humiliated, and now weaponizing half-truths to drag Malcolm down with him. That afternoon, Malcolm held a press conference in the estate's grand hall. Jamal sat beside him. Teddy bear, a gift from Malcolm that morning, tucked under his arm. "To those spreading rumors," Malcolm began, "I say this. Bring your evidence. I've nothing to hide. Every dollar I've touched was audited, transparent, and used to build schools, clinics, and housing in communities banks like mine once ignored." He held up binders thick with records. "If that's corruption, then let the world demand more of it." Reporters murmured. Cameras zoomed in on Jamal, small but resolute beside his grandfather. Then Malcolm dropped the hammer. "Effective immediately, I'm launching the Carter Initiative, mandatory anti-bias training for all 12,000 employees, a $50 million fund for minority youth entrepreneurs, and a new policy. Any employee who mocks, doubts, or humiliates a customer, especially a child, will be terminated on the spot." Applause erupted, not from reporters, but from staff who'd quietly entered the back of the room. Jamal tugged Malcolm's sleeve. "Does this mean no one will laugh at kids like me again?" Malcolm's eyes glistened. "Not if I have anything to say about it." But Derek wasn't done. That night, from a motel room, he sent doctored audio to news outlets, spliced clips of Malcolm's voice saying, "Bury the complaint. Profits first." Headlines exploded again. "Carter's dark side?" Malcolm didn't flinch. Forensic analysts proved the audio fake within hours. Still, the damage festered, and Derek grew more desperate. He met with shadowy fixer, a man who dealt in permanent solutions. "If the old man won't fall," the fixer said, "remove what he loves most." Derek hesitated. "She's just a child." "She's his weakness," the man hissed. And weakness is leverage. 2 days later, Derek lurked near the estate gates, pistol in hand, rage clouding his judgment. Security spotted him instantly. As officers closed in, Derek raised a gun, not at Malcolm, but toward the garden where Jamal played. "Stay back," he screamed, "or the kid pays for everything." Malcolm charged forward, shielding Jamal with his body. "You want me? Take me. But look at him, Derek. He's 8. Is this who you are?" For a heartbeat, Derek wavered, shame flickering in his eyes. Then a gunshot cracked. But it wasn't Derek who fired. The fixer, watching from a parked car, shot Derek in the chest to silence him forever. Derek collapsed, blood spreading across his shirt. Chaos erupted. Officers tackled the fixer. Paramedics rushed in. Malcolm held Jamal tight, whispering, "You're safe, son. You're safe." Jamal buried his face in Malcolm's coat, trembling. "I thought he was going to hurt you." "No one hurts my family," Malcolm vowed. At the hospital, Derek died whispering, "I just wanted my life back." Malcolm didn't gloat. He simply said he lost at the moment he chose cruelty over compassion. That evening, Malcolm addressed the nation one last time, with Jamal at his side. "A man died today because bitterness consumed him," Malcolm said. "But my grandson lives, and his dignity will never be questioned again. Not in my bank. Not in this country." He paused, looking down at Jamal. Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's a small voice saying, "This is mine," in a room full of doubters. The world listened. In the weeks that followed, Derek Langston's name became synonymous with corporate arrogance. The Carter Initiative passed unanimously. Jamal received letters from children across the globe. "You made me brave, too." And at bedtime, as Malcolm tucked Jamal in, the boy asked, "Grandpa, do they believe me now?" Malcolm kissed his forehead. "They don't just believe you, son. They see you." Jamal smiled, hugging his teddy. "Good, because I'm tired of being small." Malcolm chuckled. "You were never small, Jamal. You were just waiting for the world to catch up." Outside, the city slept. But inside the Carter estate, a legacy was reborn, not in wealth, but in worth. And somewhere, in every bank, store, and classroom, a child stood a little taller. Because Jamal Carter proved that truth, dignity, and courage were no uniform, but they always win.